stress-free, leave your kids at home. Leave your kids at home. Do your two-step, get your groove on. This is feel good music, you can move on. Relax, stress-free, leave your kids at home. Leave your kids at home.
Yes. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? It is Tuesday night. We are here live on the Keto Cookout with my main man, Mr. Rick Charger Mopar. We'll give you some your own applause. You don't need the group applause. You get your own applause. Hated by reptiles and waterfowl everywhere. He is here with us tonight. How we doing, Rick?
Pretty good, you know. It's been a pretty good week so far. It's not quite as hot. I've been able to do stuff around here and haven't had any more mishaps. Haven't stepped on any nails. Haven't had a coconut hit me on the head. Haven't been scratched by an iguana. You know, a couple of little scratches from the little cat, but he's calming down nicely. Yeah, things are good.
You haven't stepped on any rakes? Yeah. Man, I'm glad everybody's here tonight. We last week I made an announcement that we'd be off this week because I had my dates messed up. I made a video about it a couple days later and told everybody about the mistake. So I guess some folks watch the videos. Yes, that brain fog is real, family. Brain fog is real. Got to get more fat in my diet. Protein and fat, that's where it's at. Sweet tea in that cup, that ain't what's up. I heard that somewhere. I had to think about it. I ain't been to ketogenic church in a while. But yeah, man, we are here on the cam with the fam, here to do what we do. Hopefully make you smile, laugh a little bit. Socialize, hang out as always. The link is in the chat if you want to come in and hang out with us, tell a story, crack a joke, get some iguana updates. Whatever we can do. We'll see who's here. Paul McGrogan is here. Good to see you, Paul. Julia says hi, everybody. Oh, my sister Laura is here. Man, she's up late. She must be, in there making tinctures or something like that. Bruce, of course, is here with us. Good to see you, brother, down there in Texas. And H's liver donation. I love it. Yo, yo, yo. Don, good to see you. Josephine, my man William McCartney is here. And as always, good to see everybody. We're going to see what we can get into here. And look who pops up. Look, everybody, it's Julia. Julia's popping in to say hey to us tonight. How's things out west, my dear? Yes. We're going to get a GoFundMe so you can pay that light bill, sis. We got to get you that light bill paid so you can turn on the lights.
I've got my light on, but
I'm teasing you. You look lovely. You look lovely in the dark. It's exactly right. Me too, man. I look my best when it's I look my best in the dark. But in any event, a little bit.
There we go.
Yeah, you too, man. Man, woo. Man, what a handsome. There you go, ladies. There's a handsome dude right there. Yes.
Trying to get rid of
that. You're fine, Julia. I was just teasing you.
No.
You know me. Listen. I ain't got
That's
good.
All right. I love it.
Don't listen to anything I gotta say there.
Ditto that.
Yeah, I got a hold of some rancid beef tallow, man, and I'm all messed up. So, speaking of rancid beef tallow, my man Bruce is here. You're muted, Bruce. I can see that on your screen, but you're muted, brother. You're muted. Look at that. The gang is all here. You're muted, Bruce. I can see that on your screen. And I hear.
Well, that's a lot better than I was when I was on Nia's show the other day. I came on.
Yeah, you got to turn off your speaker.
Oh wait, what's going on? When I was on Nia's show the other day.
Yeah.
You got to shut off your YouTube.
I am messing things up here, aren't I?
Hey,
I do the same thing. You
this
got to
show's
shut off.
always messed up, man. Look who I got co-hosting.
I can't hear you. Hold on.
It's newfangled technology.
I'm going to go back on mute. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I think I know
hear
what
you
happened.
fine. He's on mute while he's figuring things out. So, Julia, what's going on out west, sis? How you doing?
Oh, doing great. I've been doing a bunch of artwork and getting ready for a one woman. Actually, not a one woman show. It's the featured artist.
Oh,
Yeah, at the
I love
gallery.
that. Now, tell us a little bit about that. Where's that at, and what's that going to be?
That's in Los Angeles, New Mexico. It's at the El Zocalo Gallery, and it's a woman-owned co-op kind of gallery. So it's just a whole bunch of us that like to paint that pitch in a certain amount of money, and I just happen to be the newest one, so they're featuring me. But it's also going to be during the Christmas party, which will be fun, and I'm bringing a whole bunch of meat.
Good.
So I'll be ready so I can have stuff I can eat.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's exciting.
Rick will be happy to know that I ordered 2 ducks that I'm waiting to get. Probably
Nice.
one for Thanksgiving and one for Christmas, and I'll have it all to myself.
Now, these
that's going to be a treat.
Are you going to, as Rick would, have the fun of steering them towards a guillotine? Or are these?
No, it's already been done. Don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, Rick. Listen, Rick is, he's not happy unless
he's the man. I love it.
If he can broker the assassination, he is. He's all about it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they could be Muscovy ducks. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I do know
you still got an echo there, Bruce. And I can hear myself in delay.
Bruce,
Really?
You got to shut off YouTube once you get on StreamYard.
Okay.
So shut off, and then you should be fine.
Okay, YouTube is now shut off. How about now? Can you hear yourself, Rick? I mean, Russ?
Sounds good now.
Nope, I do. Actually, I just think I heard it. Check it. Okay, do this. Go into your StreamYard settings and look and see if there's an echo cancellation checkbox. When you go out of the studio, when you first come in, there's the settings, and I think echo cancellation might be one of those.
Okay, hold on. Let's see.
We're gonna get you
audio. Echo cancellation is on.
It's checked?
It is checked, yes. Let me try moving my microphone.
Yeah, maybe away from the speakers a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. Let's try this. Any better?
Test 1, 2, 3. It's a very, very, very slight echo. Very, very slight.
Yeah.
Maybe you can turn down your audio there. But
that I could probably do. Let's see here.
Because it's weird. You're not echoing, but we are.
Well, if it's my microphone, I'm not. It's let's see here.
Yeah, we're hearing ourselves back through your microphone there. So,
is that any better?
Well, I can still hear it, but it's not as distracting as it was before. But
I can always drop out and come back sometime when I've got this figured out.
Well, what you want to do is probably get you some headphones or earbuds or something like that, so that the audio isn't playing out of your computer; it's your ears.
I could do that.
There you go.
Put me back on stage, and I'll come back here in a second.
Yeah, I'll just mute you, and then you set up your microphone that way. I think it'll work. But I've just got you muted so we can't hear it. But in any event, I think we were talking about So you ordered a couple of ducks, like from a butcher or something like that. I mean,
from a health store actually. So they're organic. The liver's not going to be white on them. So they're healthy.
Oh.
Because the ones that you can get them from a local grocery store, but man, I love the gizzards and everything, and they you can just tell they're not well. So it's like, I don't really want to eat that kind of meat, But these guys, I've ordered them before. They're tasty. The liver's like a real nice black. So you know that they've been fed well, and they're absolutely delicious. And I cook it in my air fryer. It takes 45 minutes. And the skin's like super crispy on it. And that's what I'll eat. Everybody else will be ordering. My partner doesn't do carnivore, but he orders like a meal from the local restaurant, which at least it's home cooked food.
Yeah.
It's not stuff that comes out of a Cisco can.
Yeah, I haven't had duck in forever. I had it at a Chinese restaurant a couple of times.
Oh,
But,
that's the best. I love
yeah,
the Peking duck. Oh,
yeah, I've had that, but never had it at home or never. I've never
it's
even seen
really
it for sale
easy.
that I can.
And then you can save the duck fat for frying with, which is so delicious because it's fairly neutral. It's a clean fat. I use it for all kinds of stuff. And sometimes I have a little extra and I mix it with leftovers for the local little feral cat that comes around so she has enough fat to eat. Sometimes I'll give her chicken, but that's not enough fat, especially in the cold winter. So I mix fat with their food and stuff like that. Do the same thing with when I foster kittens, is I mix a little fat. I grind up my own meat for them. And hey, by the way, Rick, how's your little kitty? Is it Milton?
Yeah, I mean, that's the temporary name, but here he is.
Oh man, what a beauty! Oh, he's beautiful. Ah, he's got to be about 3 months old, maybe, or 2.5 months old.
No, he's like a couple months old. I mean, he's not 3 months yet.
He's a big boy.
Well, he's eating raw meat. He's Rick's kittens, so.
Right. That's what I was feeding my foster kittens. I mix up, like I cook food, put collagen broth in there, milk until they were off I used goat milk. That formula is horrible. That stuff just binds them up really bad. And I was having a lot of issues with, because I foster kittens for the shelter. And so once I started feeding them goat milk, got them off of that, got them on just a bunch of chuck, little collagen broth in there and some fat. Man, those things, they were like solid. And I have a cat that I raised on just meat and raw meat, and he's humongous. He's still growing. He's only 2 years old. He's just a beast.
My cats, they eat mostly raw meat, and they do have yogurt from time to time that I make. But let me tell you, I always have monster cats. My cats usually grow to 18 pounds, and they live anywhere between 16 to 21 years.
Yep, I believe that. Well, the reason they die and they get so sick is why do they all have kidney disease? Because they can't process carbohydrates, especially cats. They're obligate carnivores. And when I thought I was feeding them the grain-free stuff, but then when I found out, I analyzed it, it's loaded with carbs. Oh. And I had an old cat that's 13, and she was dying. I mean, she was losing weight and throwing up all the time. And I slowly switched her to wet food and then raw meat. She's the picture of health. She put on like 1.5 pounds. She's her fur's nice and thick. She's doesn't throw up, and maybe now and then a hairball, but she doesn't throw up anymore. And now she's playing. She goes outside. She runs around. I mean, she's like a different. It saved her life, but in my own ignorance, I didn't know. So
you all right there, Bruce? Can you hear us through your headset? If you can't hear your headset. Oh, he's trying to still figure that out. Yeah. We'll go through some comments. Cindy's here. Hey, Cindy, good to see you. Apex Odyssey. Love that. Cindy says, I broke a toe, I think. At doctor or at dairy, I would say go see the doctor. Yeah. That would be at a doctor.
And you get plenty of calcium in meat, and if you collagen broth also helps a lot with healing. Like bone broth. Make bone broth. It's the best stuff in the world.
I agree with that. Yeah. Who were you kicking, Cindy? That's what I want to know. Hey, sometimes, sometimes them vegetarians, man, and them vegans, they get a little, you got to put hands and feet on them sometimes. I don't advocate that. I'm just saying I understand. That's they get kind of nasty sometimes. Yeah, they fool around and get punched on. Bruce says, he must have said you'd be off after I left because I didn't know. Yeah. Yes, I announced that I'd be off for Thanksgiving, but I was a week early. So we have, I think we have, Laura says, yes, she said her pajamas. And,
okay, Ross, how about now?
I hear you.
All right, testing 1, 2, 3. I think we're
Fixed.
in the clear, at least for now.
I got this fancy microphone that Mike Shaw suggested I get, and apparently it's a little too sensitive. So, oh well.
There
It's
you go.
perfect now. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Listen,
great.
listen, you
Yeah,
know.
I've got it unplugged now. So.
Oh,
No.
listen. Hey, Rick has got a Star Search 1979 microphone, man. So you don't need all that.
Yeah, I
man.
know.
oh my God, I remember that.
Yeah, that's right. The Ed McMahon signed it for him and
Oh.
everything. I'm telling you, it's like he's not using it now, but I'm pretty sure it's around there somewhere because everything.
I have it. I have it right here.
I have no doubt, brother, because you have everything you've ever owned in every newspaper, every magazine. You know, he's got the Funkin' Wagnalls 1968 edition behind him. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I
Right
love
on.
it. Yeah, Rick. Hey,
Do you have one of those crank style telephones, Rick? I know you got the
Actually, I do, but it's
rotary.
in storage. But you know, my phones are just the regular, you know,
Yeah.
Handset. I love
touch tone
those.
and rotary.
Yep,
I got a little of everything. Let's put it that way.
that's awesome.
yeah. I love this. A little witty there. Williams like Cindy, you need a tow truck. There you go.
This chair's 100 years old.
I love that.
You're not.
Lauren likes, Lauren likes the cat. Yeah, I walk a house hippo every day. She has people that walking their dogs. Well, one thing that was a little controversial this week. Maybe folks have heard about it. They haven't. Dr. Berry had on. His name is Rob. I can't think of his last name.
Oh, Element.
Owner, yes, of LMNT or Element. I'm not sure how it's pronounced exactly. But there was a bit of a controversy if any folks use that product. And I have used it, and I do have some, although I don't use that particular product mostly. I just have some left over. But
no biting.
The way I hope I'm saying this right, and I hope I'm explaining it right, it has a little bit of maltodextrin in it for various reasons.
Correct.
Binding agent and that, just a little bit. But I guess it came forward that it had quite a bit more than they had been advertising. And somebody asked them about it, and one of the representatives said that they didn't have any in it at all. And so that became kind of a fiasco. And of course, in our community, truth is everything. We want to see what the real deal is. We want honesty. Tell us what's in it. Tell us what's not in it. We don't like the air of deception or trickeration. We don't like it. So there was quite the storm in terms of people talking about, whether they were honest and all that kind of stuff. And so the owner came on and talked about it and discussed it and explained, his side of the story and kind of how they went about it. And, if you don't want the maltodextrin, you can get just the non-flavored version of it. But the flavored versions do have some in there because, it's just something that in order to mix properly and such. He explained it. And if you care, Dr. Berry, you can go to his channel and watch the whole video. He explains all the chemical processes and all that stuff. Again, I don't know if people have any kind of tolerances to it or intolerances, I guess you would say. But Dr. Berry basically you said, in terms of metabolically, for 90% of people, it's not a big deal. But he uses the raw product or the unflavored product himself. I use a product called Keto Essentials, and I have used the Redmond's, I think it's called Relight or something product in the past.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Yes, mostly for I don't have a big problem or super need for it, but I really got away from LMNT mostly because of cost. There are so many other products that are literally a third of the cost, and
you can even make it yourself. They have a thing on the website.
Yes, I'm not going to go to that. I'm not
Yeah.
going to go to that level, to that degree.
I hear you.
That's no shot. But I do have and I'm going to probably Chris and Miriam over at Keto Chow have a competitive product. I do have some element tea that I travel with because the other brands that I use and the ones that I do use come in like a tub, and which at the house is not, a big problem, but traveling with it and that kind of stuff, it's much easier to have the packets.
Yes.
So I have some packets that I bought probably 6 months ago that I just use when I'm traveling, and I've got maybe a handful of those left. And when I'm out of those, I'm gonna probably switch to the Keto Chow product because it's just easier to travel with it. It's about the same price, but I know
The salty one.
Salty, yes, that's their product. I know Chris and Miriam pretty well, and having met them many, many times out at different events. So I'm going to support them. They always support the events and sponsor events and stuff like that. Element T does too, but so I'm going to switch over. But that's not what I use 90% of the time. Probably about 3 times a week, I would say I use those products mainly just to sweeten my club soda. I have to get a couple of cans of club soda and throw a little bit of that in there, and it is wonderful. It's
amazing when you quit eating sweets and sugar, how just a tiny bit can make such a difference. And to someone else, it's like, this stuff is vile.
But yeah, it's like I have a big stainless steel supersized Yeti. I put a couple of cans in there and put a scoop in there and stir it up. It makes a wonderful, delicious soda, kind of flavored beverage that I enjoy. So that's what I use it for. I got some samples at an event in 2023. I'd never ever taken anything like that before, and I took a couple of them, and I don't know if it was that or something else, but I definitely felt a little better. I've just felt, I don't know, I just had maybe a little more energy, a little more, just felt better. So who knows? Maybe I was a little deficient in something, potassium or sodium or something. I'm not sure. Maybe it was placebo effect. I don't know. But I've been doing it a couple of times a week since then. And I know a lot of people who have to do it, who cramp and different things like that. So, but I'm curious if you guys
use it. Turned me on to drinking my own well water, which is actually really good.
Yeah.
What I was doing, I was buying bottled water because I didn't like the taste and I was getting cramps. And he said, it could be that the bottled water, it's reverse osmosis, doesn't have minerals in it.
Right.
So what I started doing was filtering the well water a little bit, gets the iron flavor out of it. And I haven't had cramps since, and that's what I drink, and it's delicious. But it does have to do with sometimes drinking reverse osmosis water. You're not getting enough minerals, so you need to supplement. But I don't need to now. I do iodine, but I don't have to do this. Salt the meat and everything, but I don't have to put it in my water anymore. So just something to think about.
Yeah. The ones that I've been using have a little more magnesium and potassium than salt. I feel like I can get salt lots of different places.
Yes.
I can get it in, I got it sitting right on my counter. The magnesium and the potassium and the calcium, and there's some of the ones I use have other different vitamins in them. That I think is a little bit more what I would be short of. If I could salt my food more or do something different to get more salt. That's easy. Getting the other stuff I think is harder because I don't know how much magnesium is in food. I'm sure there's some, but I don't know, gram wise, how much is really in there.
You're doing the you said you're doing the Redmonds.
Yeah, I have done Redmonds. I have a little bit of that up. There's a company called Keto Essentials that I've been using. And I, like I said, Laura's in the room here. She's the encyclopedia. She'll probably tell me what's bad about it or whatever, but it appears to be pretty clean to me. I didn't see anything objectionable in it. It's just pretty, all of them seem to be about the same to me. I don't really know that much about the distinctions between the different electrolyte mixes. I just know, if you look at the price of it, Element Tea and even Salty is like $1 a pack,
Yeah.
packs for $30. Yeah.
That's expensive.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And that led
I
me
didn't
on
realize
a search.
I never used it. I didn't realize it was.
Yeah, that led me on a search for a less expensive product, and I found the Redmond salt product, and I found the Keto Essentials product, and they seem to be pretty clean. They're like a third of the cost.
Yeah, and
So,
Keto Chow is pretty good too. The liquid stuff.
yeah,
That worked for me as well. It has
are you talking about
magnesium.
the mineral drops?
Yes.
Yes,
I
I've
think
known some
mineral
people that
drops.
have used
There's two
used
different
that.
ones. One was mineral drops, and I can't think of the other one.
Yeah,
But
they have several different products.
they were less expensive for sure.
Yeah, they have a shake product. I use the health code shakes. Dr. Bickman's company. I drink those a couple times a month, just as a supplement, and that's another thing I will travel with, and you know, it's just something I started doing. It's funny, I started doing it at the very beginning because I just couldn't wrap my mind around the fact that I could get all I needed from meat.
Right.
Like, I couldn't wrap my mind around it. And I'm like, there's no way that I can get all the nutrition I need from this steak or this ground beef. So I started drinking the health code shake just as a safety net, I guess you call it, a catch-all. It's like, hey, I can't be getting all the riboflavin I need. The riboflavin. I've got to be short riboflavin. So I just started drinking that about once a week. I would have what I call steak and shake night. I didn't drink it instead of, I drank it with. So I would call it steak and shake night, and I'd have a steak, and I'd have a shake, and I would feel like, anything I didn't get in the steak, that's because it's just formulated by Dr. Bickman. It's got a high fat, it's high protein, very low carb. It's got a ton of nutrients in it. He uses it himself. His family uses it. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to drink this maybe once a week just so I can make sure I'm getting everything I need. Well, I cut that down to probably about once every, 10 days or 2 weeks now. But I travel with it. And whenever I'm traveling, usually I'll take it with me and have it for that. But yeah, that's really it in terms of supplements. But you can look it up, Laura, and tell me when you come on here next week or the week after. You can tell me how bad it is. Keto Essentials. They have several different flavors, and it looks again to be the same as the other products. But all the electrolytes that come in the tub are cheaper than the individual packets.
Sure.
It's because I guess for obvious
Paying
reasons,
for
you
the
have to package
packaging.
it individually. It probably runs the cost up.
Yeah. Of
But
course.
if you get it in a tub and scoop it yourself and put it in your drinks, it's much, much cheaper. So that's what I do around the house.
You can even bring it with you, like the little Ziploc bags.
Yeah, yes. Again, I'm you're much more practical and that
I
than
know.
me. To me, I just grab a handful of them and throw them in my bag, and
There you go. Well,
half the fun is digging through all my stuff to try to find my packets of.
I know.
Do you go through the? Do they have the flavorings? In
Yeah. They have Element Tea has. Let me see here. They have an orange
I
flavor.
know Element Tea and Salty both do, but I'm talking about the others that you do.
Oh yeah. Keto Essentials has 6 or 7 different flavors: berries, a fruit berry, and some other. I can't. Yeah, they got 6 or 7 flavors, and
no
like
iguana flavor.
Yeah, they don't have iguana toenail flavor.
Duck flavor.
Duck
Parking
flavor,
lot chicken.
iguana flavor.
Yeah, duck bill flavor.
Parking lot chicken.
Parking lot
There
chicken.
you go. That's it. No, that sounds
Muscovy
tasty.
duck foot.
Yeah, the Keto Chow makes some shakes too, and like I said, I love Chris and Miriam. They're the coolest people. The reason I didn't start drinking any of the Keto Chow products was it's like a multi-step process. You got to add your own fat to it, so you can add whatever fat you want to it, and then you mix it. Then you have to refrigerate it for a little bit, and it's like a thing. And I'm sure so many people use it. Shout out to the 2 Crazy Ketos; they use a lot of it, and they're always coming up with recipes and different things for it, and it's cool. But I'm a very simple man, and if I want to have a quick shake or something, I want to drink it now. I don't want to,
Yeah.
but I don't want to have to mix 4 things in it and put it in the fridge and wait and stir it. No, man, listen, I can get that, and I don't make my shakes like you're supposed to. I met Dr. Bickman and I actually teased him about it because he calls it a meal replacement. But I told him I'm like, a meal replacement for what? An anorexic mosquito? I'm like, that's what I'm like. You take 2 scoops and 8 ounces of water, and I was like, what kind of grown man can get a meal out of 8 ounces of anything? I'm like, I could drink 8 ounces of concrete mix. I'm like, it's like, and I'm not sure that would work.
Talk about
Like,
ravage.
so he's like, well, how do you make it? And I said, well, I get 8 ounces of coconut milk, unsweetened coconut milk, and 4 ounces of heavy cream, and 3 scoops. I said, now that
sounds good to me.
that's a shake.
Yeah, that heavy cream right on.
Yeah. And so and I mix it up and drink, and it's wonderful. It tastes great. It dissolves well. I've been known to throw a little sugar-free whipped cream on that thing, and So, but yeah, so he laughed at that. He's like, that's funny. I said, yeah, that might be a meal replacement for a toddler, but I'm like, but not for a human, not for an adult. He laughed. He thought that was really funny. But yeah, so that's it in terms of supplements. Laura gets on me because I don't take my D3 and K2, although I have it. But yeah.
It's just sitting there collecting dust. Oh.
Yeah. Darth is here. What's going on, Charlie? Good to see you, brother.
Hey, Charlie.
Laura says, slow salty. Laura got a bag directly from Chris, I think, when we were at Keto Palooza. Christina, I haven't seen you in a while, sweetie. Good to see you. You need to come on in here and give us some information here. I don't know if you we're on the stream. We're talking about Element T. I don't know if you use any electrolyte products or recommend any, but we were talking about Element T and the recent controversy with their maltodextrin. So William says, have a great night. Appreciate you coming out, hanging out with us, brother. Good to see you.
That's a good video. I'd highly recommend watching it. It definitely, I mean, as carnivores, we kind of think in terms of, hey, the whole food industry is all rotten. They're trying to pull things over on us.
Absolutely.
And here, this company that we were trusting, they came in and they violated our trust like that.
That's exactly right.
That was kind of the main thing. And his whole thing is, look, I'm trying to be very I'm trying to be very transparent with all this. So it was a good interview.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I thought the same thing. And you're right. Not only do we think they're trying to trick us, they are trying to trick us. I learned. I can't remember who I learned this from, but I learned that you can be up to 15 or 20% off on your nutritional information calculations and still be within the guidelines of disclosure. So you can have a product that has 20 carbs and you can put on there it has 16 and it's not a problem. It's like, not a problem. It's 20%. That's fine. I mean, that's crazy to me. That you could be that in this day and age. I can understand maybe 100 years ago, but in today's scientific age, you should be able to be a lot more accurate about your nutritional information than 20%.
Rob was also saying that at the factory sometimes they would just add it in because of that leeway.
Yeah.
And he wasn't aware of it. And then the other mistake he made was thinking that, well, we don't have to tell them, they'll be fine, kind of thing. Not to try to deceive, but figuring that he didn't want to scare people. And he said that was the wrong move because that was trying to be too carnal, too controlling. And
that is a good point. That's a good point, Julia, because one of the things Dr. Berry said was, I think it was Keto Brick, folks that make Keto Brick had an issue like that. They were having it made by a third party, and the third party was changing things that they didn't think were a big deal. They're like,
Exactly.
it's just a
Exactly.
microgram of this or 2 micrograms
Yeah.
of that. And he was like, whoa, 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 whoa. He's like, no, sir, you can't just change this. And then,
Change it,
you know,
right.
and he still makes the keto bricks, I guess, in his
Barn.
he manufactures it himself
Yep.
because he doesn't trust anybody else
Exactly.
manufacture it without changing the recipes. And you know, he
And
doesn't want
Eric
that.
was saying that he was drinking the flavored keto, the flavored element, and couldn't understand like he wasn't losing any weight. Like what's going on, or maybe what or it was going up. And then he realized it was just that tiny bit of maltodextrin in there.
Well,
And
but
for
he
some
also said he was drinking 6 or 7 packets a day sometimes.
right,
Yeah.
because he was outside working in the fields.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
like,
but he
"Oh."
does the non-flavored though.
Now he does, but at first he
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
and he was saying about how some of us make fat so easily. I'm one of those people, like I can't even eat butter. It puts weight on me, you know.
wow.
And maltodextrin triggers sugar cravings for me, so I don't touch the stuff, even a micro amount. I'm that sensitive.
Well,
So I mean, you can't just assume that it's okay for everybody, because it's not. Let us make our own decision with it, you know.
mhm.
And that's where Rob was saying that he made a mistake as well, you know.
Yeah. Well, I don't even drink 6 or 7 packets a week.
I
So
don't drink any, so
yeah, so that would be
but
I'm sure there's, you know, I don't know how many people, good grief, if you're drinking 6 or 7 a day, man, my goodness, you're drinking 50 packs a week.
some of
You
us
know, so yeah, that's a lot of LMNT.
oh man, but
I guess
I know for me, like I just have to avoid any sweet anything.
Yeah.
Just at the sweet period, because it just will trigger, even if it's
Hmm.
stevia. That was one of the first things that I got rid of when I went carnivore, because it just, it triggers that craving for more. And it doesn't know the difference. It'll still elevate your insulin level, even though it's not glucose.
Well,
It's sweet.
most of those stevia products have sugars added to them. They really don't mention it, but it's pretty common.
The one I got one brand that was pure. It was the Now brand. That's the only one I'd buy, because you're right. It had all this other, had maltodextrin added to it, fructose added to it, and I would read the labels and go into the website and study it. So, but still, just the fact that it's sweet, I'm that extreme with sugar addiction, so I had to completely cut that out.
So
And
Julia, even allulose.
I have not tried it, but just the sweet, the idea of sweet.
Yeah.
Me, it just
Some people, it's very triggering to them. I use allulose and a monk fruit extract blend.
Forget it. That's
and I just use it. I just use it for drinks, coffee and tea.
Yeah, and you're okay with it. That's the thing.
Yeah, and I don't sweeten it. I don't like it super sweet. I just like a very mild. I like a tea flavor, a good strong tea flavor, and just to take kind of a little bit of the edge off it. Same way with the coffee. There's way more cream in my coffee than sweetener. I can tell you that.
That's the reason I actually had to quit, because it caused the emphysema and all the congestive stuff to get worse. So I had.
Shout out to Laura. Laura says it looks good, Russ, and yes, tubs are cheaper than 6. I will sleep easy tonight knowing that my sister Laura gives my keto essentials to the stamp of approval. I'm yes, because listen, she's tough, but if she says it's okay, it's fine. And again, it's like a third of the cost of the other products. So
Right.
Charlie says, I've tried keto chow ice creams and desserts made by others at meetups twice in the past year. Tasted good, but probably have a hard time moderating if I were to bring or make my own house. I totally understand that.
Totally.
I get it completely, and you have to do what's best for you. Everybody that I know that uses keto chow products like them a lot, and I'm sure it's a wonderful product. But the process in making it is, these are people who like to cook, and they're kind of, kitchen people. I'm neither of those things.
I hear you.
What about you, Rick? You ever have any keto snacks of any type? I mean,
You didn't look at that face.
Yeah, he got the gas face.
Oh, Oh,
Hey,
heck
come on,
no.
man. I mean, I'm guessing that once or twice in 40 years, somewhere you got a keto piece of candy or something. I don't know, or something sugar free. I'm just
Why,
guessing.
why would I want to eat that when I could just have a nice piece of meat? I don't understand it.
Yeah,
What's the point?
Good point.
I'm getting
If
more
I
and
want
more.
something sweet, I'll just go out in my yard and pick some fruit. I mean, it's not that hard to get, although most of my fruit tends to be on the sour side, which is the way I like it. But, I'm sure I could go and grab maybe a guava or an orange or something from one of the trees around here. But, what's the point? It's boring. Anything that's sweet just repulses me. I'm the exception to the rule. Let's put it that way.
Yes, Nigel says I'm taking glycine and taurine as it's hard to get enough from muscle meat, allegedly. I don't know what either of those things are, but I hope you get enough of them.
Mhm.
I
think
thought taurine was one of the things you could get from muscle meat.
Yeah, beef.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't. Like I said, I
Red
don't know
meat.
what either one of those things are. I am not nearly smart enough. You have to. Laura's
I
in the
looked
chat.
it up.
I'm sure she knows exactly what those things are.
Cats
But
have to have taurine, and they can only get it from meat. I know that for a fact. That's why if you don't feed them meat, they'll die. And
Mhm.
they artificially will put it in the cat food. Taurine. It's an amino acid.
Gotcha. Jenny, good to see you, sis. I drink LMNT and have turned my kids onto it, but now I feel bad about it. I canceled my subscription, but I have enough to last me a year. Now that's funny.
Right
Well,
on.
again, I don't want to, a shout out to Chris Bear. That's my buddy. He's got a product, the salty product. Again, I use a product by Keto Essentials. The moral of the story that I got from watching the video was that it really wasn't a big deal, but for the dishonesty. That's what I took away from it.
Exactly.
It's for 99% of people, the way Dr. Bear explained, it's not going to make any difference in your health or your metabolic health. But the point is that, the dishonesty or what appeared to be dishonesty was the thing. Because, again, somebody had asked about it, and one of the representatives from LMNT said, we don't have any maltodextrin in our product. Now, granted, Rob had said previously that there was some in there, and it turned out there was a lot more than he said. And again, one of his team said, I guess, that there was none. So it was just like a big stink bomb that went off.
Yeah.
So if you like it and it's helping you, the way Dr. Bear explained it is, he still uses it. He just uses the unflavored. And for most people, it's just not anything worth getting excited about, especially now that it's the cat's out of the bag. Everybody knows the real deal. Everybody knows the truth. Use it at your, do with it as you will. But I don't use it for other reasons. I use it for economic reasons. That's really my motivation. I've never had any problem with the product. I've always felt great using it. It's I like the flavors. I don't have anything negative to say about it.
My wife has Addison's disease, which means that she desperately needs the extra electrolytes. Of course, she's not carnivore. We got a black cat, we got a white cat. Look at this.
This is my monster.
And my gray cat's around here somewhere.
He's
Russ,
still-
where's your cat?
Rick's got him. That's our cat.
So she has to have.
Carnivore right here.
Has to have stuff.
I'm gonna go let him out. Come on, buddy.
Okay.
Your wife takes electrolytes?
She does. Well, she's not carnivore. She's nowhere near carnivore. There's no way I'll be able to convince her in this lifetime to even try carnivore. So she does a lot of. She drinks a lot of Gatorade. But I'm
hopefully
trying.
Hopefully Gatorade Zero.
That's not that doesn't have all that much sugar in it. So
should she drink like Gatorade Zero, or does she drink the real, just the old,
the real stuff? And there's only one flavor she really likes, and that's the orange.
Yeah. If you look at the carb count on that, you might as well drink a soda.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it's
I'm trying to find a suitable, but every time I'm giving her element tea, we've tried the liquid IV from the store. We've tried Propel, and it's all got the flavorings in there that she doesn't really care for. So
yeah.
I'd
Keto,
like to try.
Keto Essentials has, I think they have an orange flavor. I can't remember. They've
Okay.
got several flavors. And
I'll give that a try, and
maybe she'll like it.
she's open and minded enough. She'll try it out.
Hey, and listen, if she doesn't drink it, you get you some club soda and mix a little bit in there with that, and it's a party. I'm just
There you go.
you drink it, So that's interesting, though. But so what is her main? I mean, she just thinks it's kooky and wacky, or does she not like meat, or what? Does the doctor telling her it's crazy? What's her?
She had a gastric bypass, a Roux-en-Y, about almost 30 years ago, back when it was very, very experimental, and it's not the same procedure that's being done today. So she's still following the advice of that, and it's doing her a lot of good. She's lost like 175 pounds. She's
Wow.
she hey, she's smoking hot. She's my wife.
Yeah,
And
Oh, right on. No,
I love it.
so
that's awesome.
so she but her whole thing is she does not believe that she could go with a high fat low carb diet, and also because she was so overweight for so long. Diet was that 4-letter word that we have in America, where basically you starve yourself into submission.
Yeah.
That's not, I mean, that's not the way we understand diet, but that's the way most people in America do.
Well, the only thing I would say to that is, I mean, I don't know anything for sure. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm guessing she doesn't eat very much at all. In terms of total volume of food. Oh, she eats a lot. Like she has a big.
Well, not a whole lot, I guess.
I thought with the bypass you had to eat like little amounts, or is that with the sleeve?
Yes, small amounts, large quantity of meals, but small
and then you have to be really careful of the fat as well, because that could make you sick if you eat too much.
Causes dumping. Yes.
Right. Yeah, that's the word I was thinking about. Oh, but
I'm just, I don't know how to quantify it exactly, but I mean, I know that a lot of times people have those surgeries and they just can't eat very much. I mean, a handful of some of the food. So my point was that if she's only, eating limited, carbs because she just can't eat, I guess it's, I guess along that line, I don't know what her normal day for her is, but if you can only eat a handful of food, unless you're just totally eating something that's just super high carb, if you have any balance to it, you may not be able to get enough carbs to really affect you if you're going to eat a handful of food.
Yeah, and she does struggle through it. There are lots of days where she just forgets to eat because of the surgery.
Sure.
She just doesn't get hungry.
Right.
And sometimes that causes problems too.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Well, maybe like I said, even the health code shakes may be helpful just for nutrition if she's not a big eater. Just get some, because it is they are a high fat, high protein type of shake. So if she has trouble with fat, I don't know, just throwing out suggestions. But even if she doesn't have to eat high carb just because, of that, she could still eat a lower carb kind of lifestyle, even if, she does have the sleeve. I would think maybe
I have a friend that
have to be kind of a low carb, low fat kind of thing. Low carb vegetables, maybe eggs and maybe leaner cuts of meat.
I have a friend that had a sleeve done. She's also had food addiction, but addressing that, she ended up going ketovore, and she's doing really well. But that's how I know about the little small meals that you have to eat. But she's doing really well. She figured it out, just little by little. And she did
Okay.
lose the weight, and she looks healthy. I mean, she looks good. She doesn't look sick or anything like that. So
Laura says she can do high fat, just needs to start out slow and maybe add ox
right,
oil.
and build up.
It helps
Right.
break
Yeah.
down.
And yeah, that's the other thing too. Is one of the first things about a year out after her surgery, she had to have her gallbladder taken out.
Oh,
So yeah, the ox. I have thought about doing ox supplements, but there's a lot of hurdles. She's
Yeah.
very she's very resistant to the idea. She's definitely convinced I'm in a cult. So
Yeah, hey, have her watch one of my videos. So yeah, I'm in a cult with that guy. Yeah.
That'll convince her. That'll definitely convince her.
Yeah. Listen, I might be in a cult, but you think that guy is? Does that guy look like that kind of cult? Yeah, what cult is he in?
Yeah, Russ and Rick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's two cult guys right there. No, it's funny. It's funny that and there are we have some zealots now. Let's not get it, let's be honest. We have some kooks out there besides Rick. He's our kook. He's our kook. But
Quack.
that's not what I'm about. And I tell people all the time. I was talking to my cousin today, who I hadn't talked to in forever. Had some health problems, and he's been doing lowering his carbs and that, and doing much better. But I say all the time, I don't care what people eat. My fight is against misinformation.
yes.
That's really what I feel like I'm fighting. It's not food. It's not fruit. It's not misinformation. What people think is good for them, and what people are told is good for them, is just not. And that's really what we have to fight. My Uncle Mike eats oatmeal for breakfast all the time. He thinks it's good for him. He thinks it's heart healthy. His doctor has told him that's what he should eat. Now we all know that that's just garbage. There's nothing in oatmeal for you.
No.
But he buys it and eats it because he believes it's doing something for him. To me, that's the real fight. Because most people, if you give them good information, will do the right things and make the right choices. There's always the knuckleheads out there who, are going to be like, I don't care. But that's not what most people do. Most people, if you tell them, hey, this is good for you, this is not good for you, this is what you should do, this is what you should not do, this is going to be beneficial, they'll do it. So that's what we really have to fight, in my opinion, is the misinformation about, the food that's out there and what it will do for you.
And it's a battle with the mind programming that people have as well. So you can give them the proper information and they still just can't process. They can't process it. They can't wrap their minds around it. Like, you eat only meat, like you're going to die. I said, yeah, everybody's going to die someday,
Yeah. Yeah.
It can't get out of life alive that I know of. So,
night to Laura. Appreciate you coming by.
Laura.
Appreciate
night,
you coming
Laura.
by. Hey.
She's going to bed before me. Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the way I always look at it, is misinformation. Telling people the truth about the food, and making it simple. We were talking about, again, talking to my cousin. It's like, I saw, I don't know if you saw the debate or video with Dr. What's the word? Dr. Kiltz. And there was a guy, I don't know where he was. He has a podcast called The Proof or something. I can't remember. Very nice man, very well educated, very sciencey. And I love Kiltz. Kiltz is my guy.
He's awesome.
Robert's a good dude.
He's Italian.
But he's kind of a bit of a hippie. And this guy was very scientific. And it would have been great to see him debate Chafee or somebody like that, because those two would have been, But, Kiltz is like, hey, we're all one people, man. And the universe, man, it's like, the energy and the power and the moon is in the 7th house, man. And Venus is aligned with Mars.
It's the dawning of the age.
Yeah. And again, he put a little sprinkles of science in there too. But this guy was kind of pinning him down on it. And, to me, it's such a simple concept. It's so simple, and it has to be for me to understand it. We know that high carbohydrates, high levels of glucose are toxic to the human body. We know this. This isn't even in question. There's only 3 nutritional macros. Everything you eat is protein, fat, or carbohydrate, or a mix of the 3. There's only one of those 3 that are non-essential, and that's the carbohydrate. So why would I want to have a diet that's 60, 70, or 80% non-essential?
Mm-hmm.
That's just, you don't need any kind of medical degree. You don't need to have, all you got to have is a decent amount of common sense. And you think, well, if 80% of my diet is non-essential, how can that be good for me? Not only that, but here, I'll take it a step further than that. Your body has a natural defense mechanism against one of those macronutrients. There's no defense against too much fat or too much protein. Your body has a natural defense against too much glucose. It has to have that to keep you from getting too much of it. Otherwise, it'll kill you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it kills us.
So from there, it gets very simple for a person like me. I'm like, okay, we have a non-essential macronutrient that my body has to defend me against having too much of it. It's like, okay, I'm not going to eat that. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm going to eat so little of it. It's not. So when we get into these arguments with these vegans and these vegetarians, and they want to talk about how we need all this, and to me, the simple argument is it's not essential. There's no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. There is no carbohydrate that you need to live. Not a fruit, not a vegetable, not a grain, not a nothing. You don't need it. So whatever you think it's got in it, that's some superfood or some it clearly can't. Fiber is carbohydrate.
Oh God, I know. Oh,
it's not protein or fat. So fiber, by definition, if we know carbohydrates are not essential, fiber is not essential. It's like you can't have it both ways. You can't have something non-essential be important for you.
Might as well eat sawdust.
Yeah, so it's just it's, to me, it's at its core level, it's very basic and simple. And we get into the weeds and get far drift and all the sciencey and stuff, but at the base level, man, I think even Rick said this to me one time, if I remember right. I think it was Rick that said this: if you go out into the woods or the wilderness, 90% of the vegetation out there will make you sick or kill you.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't care where
I always say.
I don't care where you're at on the planet Earth, but there is no animal, bug, anything made of protein and fat in nature that I know of that will kill you or is harmful to you. Right. I mean, there's some things you may have to cook a certain way. Maybe there might be
fish,
yeah, but other than that, you can eat all of it. There's nothing that is, harmful to you other than the plants. I mean, even the plants we eat regularly. Like if you took a handful of pinto beans and just ate them raw, you'd end up in the hospital.
Yes, exactly.
I mean,
I did that a lot when I was a kid.
Oh my God, me too, and I eat them like while they were cooking. No idea.
Yeah, I mean, we boil that stuff to make it soft and edible, okay, but also to get the poison out of it. Because
I had no idea about that. Oh my God. Yeah.
So it's just and that's what I do in my evangelism. I try to keep it simple and basic for people. If they want to know more, if they want to get into science and they want to read books, that's great. I nerd out on that stuff a lot too. For the guy with the donut in his hand, he's not going to want to hear about autophagy and just, hey man, you got to get the carbs down, brother. Go ahead, Julia.
No, I said he needs to know where the next Krispy Kreme is.
Yeah.
Right.
Where's that Krispy Kreme? I know, right?
Yeah, you're gonna give Rick a migraine talking about donuts and bagels. He's gonna
disgusting.
I gotta tell you a funny story about my late husband when he first came to this country. Actually had, I think the first time he ever tried an American donut, he was from Italy. And he said, I ate that thing. And he said, I don't think I ever digested it. He said it's like you can taste the, just that nasty whatever they put in it. And he said, I thought it was like a nice Italian pastry, like what I'm used to over there. Not.
No,
He said,
Well,
not at all.
he said I just
I'm
never
good.
digested it.
I can't listen. I keep it real. I haven't been doing this long enough to where I can say donuts and bagels are disgusting, but I can say that I don't eat them anymore with any kind of regularity. It's because I understand now things that I didn't understand a year or two ago, and so yeah, from time to time. And listen, Thanksgiving Day is coming. Just say a prayer for me. That's all I can say, folks. Just say a prayer to the keto guys. I don't know, there's no telling. I take it as it comes. I don't have a plan. I don't have it'll be what it'll be. I can tell you
Turkey's
this.
okay.
Yes, but my folks, yeah, it's a spread. Okay.
You've been through it before, so it'll be easier this time for you.
Well, last year was my first year, the first
Right.
holiday season. And, I always say the same thing. It wasn't nearly as bad as it could have been. And it wasn't nearly like it was in previous years. I mean, I would, generally in years past, I'd have a mountain, of transgressibles, and seconds and, later on that, it just wasn't like that. I dibbled and dabbled. I had a little of this and a little of that, but again, I don't want to eat that way anymore. So it's, I don't want that. I mean, I dibble and dabble here and there a few times a year, but it's just not the way I want to eat. Even with the keto treats and snacks, I tell people all the time, I don't even want keto muffins or keto pizzas. And I just don't want that anymore with any regularity. You know what I mean? For a couple times a year, whatever. But yeah, that's how I used to eat every day of my life. And those things are long gone.
I always liked my pacemaker pizza, but I haven't made it for a while. That's actually a good one.
What's on that?
Well, it's deep fried, and instead of using flour, it's chicken, eggs, cheese for the crust, and then you put ground meat. You can put sardines in there if you like them, any kind of, and then you put cream in there. It's not really your typical pizza. And yeah, if you're into plants, I can make you some fermented tomato sauce from my garden. I can make it look exactly like a regular pizza with cheese and sauce, but the crust, that's going to be fried chicken. And basically, I fry it in a pan. So it, technically, I guess it's a pan pizza. You roll that out, you fry it up, then you put your toppings on it, pop it into the oven. 10 minutes later, it's ready to go.
You take the meat and chop it up and make it like a crust?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Put the meat on it, and it's a very good, I just haven't had the time, and, it gets so hot a lot of times I don't want to use the oven. I mean, technically, you can do it on the stove. But it's really nice because regular pizza, it smells almost like vomit to me. I hate to say it. There's something about commercial pizza. It's nasty.
It's the cheese and the stuff that they put in the dough.
Whatever it is, it really smells. To me, it smells like vomit. Like a light vomit smell. But when I cook my pizza, it smells like ground beef and chicken and cheese. And it's very appetizing. I really like it. So if anybody else orders a pizza, they offer me a pizza. I'm like, oh, Rick, there you go with that face again. You don't eat pizza. I said, I would.
When you eat real food and you're confronted with like a bag from McDonald's, for example, it has to be the vilest, foulest smelling stuff ever. And I noticed that when I started keto. Like I did it for 13 years before I did carnivore. And it was like, oh my God, what is in that? It's just the foulest, rankest smelling stuff. And it's because your body just rejects the poison, I think. So you're just not going to like it, And with you, Rick, you've eaten well for 40 years. So absolutely, that stuff would make you sick.
Just driving by the Chick-fil-A is enough to make me feel sick.
Yes. Yes. I know there's like there's a road in my town that's got all the fast food, and every now and then, like on a summer day, if you got your windows down, it's like, let me get out of here. It's like roll up the windows. It is that bad. It really, to me anyway.
Mm.
You know.
The place that used to always get me hungry was the Ranch House. They had a
Oh,
restaurant. They called it later on Neighbors. They always had meat that was grilling in there. It smelled so good. But then when you go by the Wendy's or the McDonald's, it was like, ugh.
oh God.
And
They have a
even, I mean,
smokehouse right near me.
the Burger King used to be okay in a way because you could smell the meat. But when you got closer to the restaurant, then you smell that nasty fried crap they have in there,
Seed
and it
oil.
ruins your
Yeah,
appetite.
it
I don't
does.
know what it is about fast food. I guess it's what you said. You get used to eating real food, and the fast food just doesn't seem appealing. In fact,
Right.
every time that I've tried to eat a McDonald's hamburger, I got diarrhea. So I called them McDiarrhea.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh,
you talking about just the patties or just the?
Well, when I was younger, just the whole
Oh,
burger. You know,
oh
you
yeah.
eat the burger. I never tried just the patties by themselves, but
They're
they
not
seem
bad.
so
They're doable. They're doable.
they seem microscopic though. It's like Russ was saying, a real man can't live on that stuff. If you've
No.
seen what my heart attack burger looks like, then you know that's what I like to eat. 4 1/2 pound patties with 8 slices of cheese. And if I have it, bacon goes in there. And the buns are made from cheese, pork rinds, and eggs. So you know that's a high calorie, gut busting burger for most
yeah.
people. But I
But
can eat that and go right to work.
You're like 6'2", like you need the food. You know.
6'6".
Oh,
Yeah.
6'6" you are?
Yep.
Wow. See, it's me, man. I'm telling you.
Jenny
But-
says I had an RNY myself. I don't know what that means. RNY. Help me out, Jenny. It's very hard
That's
to
the ruin. I think she means the ruin. Why that I was telling you my wife's surgery
Oh, gotcha.
was.
yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
what Jenny means.
Yeah, I don't eat as much fat as a lot of people do. I don't know why. I just can't really take. I get an adequate amount, a moderate amount, but I turn into basically a walking nuclear reactor. If I if I if I,
You're
if
not
I
alone.
eat
Not
more
alone.
than an average amount of fat, I mean, people listen. I talk about it because I get the picanha. Matter of fact, I think I might make it next week.
I ate a lot of fat.
I have to trim the fat cap off of it, probably about half of it. Shout out to Dr. Vasquez because I used to do it before I cooked it. And he was like, no, do it after you cook it. It's like, make it with all the fat in it and all that, let the flavor, and then trim the fat away after you cooked it. So I'm like, okay. But yeah, I just can't, even oxtails. Like I make my oxtails
Oh, jeez.
and I have to mix them with ground beef. I can't eat them by themselves. Too much
Really?
fat. Oh not anymore. Too much fat. It's just
It's the same with me. I have to do
I
like
can't do it. I can't do it. Other people can do it.
I
But
can't.
if you ever make them, you'll see. I mean, again, I don't know how much fat you consume normally or what percentage of your diet is fat. For me, it's probably 50-50 at best.
Me too.
I've got a package of it in my freezer. I'm kind of nervous about making it. So
Yeah, don't be ridiculous, man. You got a pressure cooker?
no.
Well,
I'll have to do it in a crock pot.
You got a slow cook? Yeah, that's fine. The pressure cooker is a crock pot with a fast forward button.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you could be you're going to be 4 to 5, maybe 6 hours, depending on how you choose to do it with that. You could be eating in an hour and a half with the crock pot.
You just stick it in the crock pot. Do you have a liquid, a beef stock,
whatever
or anything?
cheese, whatever. It's just treat it just for me. Again, everybody's different. You're not going to do vegetables and all that kind of stuff. So you don't have to worry about all that. Just season it the same way you would a roast.
Right.
How do you do your roast?
And are you saying oxtail? Is that what you're making?
Yeah, he's making oxtails.
So what I would do too is also, if you have a cast iron pan, is sear it first.
Yeah, people do that.
Boil it kind of locks in all your flavor and everything. And at that point is when you put your salt or whatever seasonings you'd like to use.
Yeah,
I
don't. Yeah, she's fancy.
Right, and then just add water to it after that. But the searing actually, all it is just, it's just it seals the outside, so you get all your nice juice in it. And then with whatever's left in your pan, you can put water in that and add it to your pot. You know what I mean? And get all those scrapings up.
Deglaze it that way.
I've been making it. I think I've made it twice already, and man, it's good. But like you, Russ, I can't process the fat. I found what I have to do is actually do lean days, where I do I can't eat ribeye every single day, because it just, I mean, poop explosion, not a good thing. It's really bad.
Yeah, I mean, some people
My
do
body
trim the
just
fat off
doesn't
their oxtails before they cook them. I don't do that. I could, I guess, do that.
No,
I
keep
could
it on.
I could pick fat out of them after I cook them, I guess. I mean, there's ways I could, but I don't do that. I just
No.
make them. I made a video on them, and I might, I can't remember if I made a pressure cook video or a crock pot video because I used to crock pot them before I got my pressure cooker.
Right.
I can't remember the video I made, whether it was a crock pot or a pressure cooker, but yeah, you're gonna
I'll look
probably
it
need
up.
more than one. I don't know how big the pack was you got, but I'm gonna tell you, they cook down and they're very fatty. So I don't know how many pounds I do with it, to maybe 3 to 5 pounds. I don't remember how many pounds are in the packs I get, but again, you'll enjoy them. But they're very
Okay.
fatty,
What's
a lot of collagen, a lot of
What's
fat.
really, yeah, the collagen is wonderful. The broth that it makes, that's
Yeah.
so nutritious, like for your hair and your nails and your skin and everything's fantastic.
Okay.
But just like I said, just try a little bit at a time.
For
For me,
it's very hard to ruin things in a crock pot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
You have to try really hard to do that, and
oh yeah, really.
I would put minimum 4 hours. Some people do 8.
I turn it on when I go to bed and then
I
just turn it
generally
off.
am around the 6-hour mark.
6 hours, yeah.
I don't find much difference between 6 and 8 hours, and I'm ready to eat. But when I start smelling them, I'm ready to eat.
That's it, yeah.
Well, I'd probably
I
put it on
usually
before I go to work. So
I go to bed and then
Yeah.
shut it off in the morning. It seems
Well,
to work.
but like I said, now what I do is I do my ground beef, and then I'll do my oxtails in the pressure cooker. So I pressure cook them for about an hour and 10 minutes, maybe an hour and 15, depends on how many are in there. And then I take them out and I debone them. I take the meat off the bones, so it's
Okay.
just a big pile of meat, and mix it with the ground beef. And
Okay.
I don't have any problems when I do that in terms of
Yeah,
nuclear reaction, because I don't know the ratio. I'd say probably 3 parts ground beef to 1 part oxtails if I had to guess, and it's
Okay.
wonderful.
it is.
It's one of my favorite things to eat.
Yeah.
And yeah, you won't be disappointed. Odyssey says, I'm hoping to pick up a tomahawk steak at the butcher on Saturday and have for Thanksgiving dinner. I've never had one before. I always wanted to try one. I love that. Yeah, I've never even seen one for sale. I guess you do have to go to a butcher shop. I've never seen one for sale anywhere I have ever been. How are you going to make it? Are you going to just grill it up on outside, smoke it, slow cook it? I mean, what's the plan there, Odyssey? So something cool. I can't cook steak. I sadly overcook them. I mostly slow cook or 100 style. Let me tell you something, Josephine. This is what I do because again, I'm not that guy. I don't know how you like your steaks, but I get my steaks. I brine them for a minimum of 4 hours, maybe 4 to 6 hours, dry brine. And I take them out. I heat up my skillet, and if it's about an inch thick, which most steaks are when you buy, I put them in the skillet my electric skillet about 400 degrees, 4 minutes aside, and I take them out. And they are what they are.
Perfect that way.
They're never overcooked. Because I'm not that picky. I like my steak anywhere from medium rare to medium well. I'm just not picky.
The trick is to get the pan hot enough first.
Yeah, I don't like rare.
On it.
I don't like rare, and I don't like well done. Anywhere in between there is fine with me. I have used a thermometer in the past. It's a pain in the ass. But yes, you want your skillet. I have an electric skillet. I turn it up to 400 and let it sit there for a few minutes, get good and hot. And 4 minutes aside, it never disappoints.
That's right.
If it's a little thicker, if you get one that's maybe, sometimes you get thicker cuts, I may go 4.5 minutes aside. But it's always between medium rare and medium well, 100% of the time, which for me, it's fine. Other people are kind of picky and snobby, but yeah, I'm good with that. So that's my I guess trick, if you want to call it that. 4 minutes aside, and I have not gone wrong. Some with you, Russ. I know it's supposed to make it taste better to sear it, but for me, yeah, I'm not I have never seared anything other than like my steaks. I guess you sear them when you put them on at 400 degree. It's just an extra step.
Whatever works.
I'm just way too lazy for all that. I literally take them. I take them out of the packs. I rinse them off because sometimes they have little bits of bone and blood and stuff. I rinse them off under the sink. I put it in a pot. I season them down with whatever seasoning I'm using at the time, and I throw them in there for an hour and 15 minutes, and they come out wonderful. That's it. The searing,
That's all that matters.
especially,
I'm Italian not to do it. I
I
can't
don't even
help
know how long that would take me. I mean, there has to be 20 oxtails in there the way I make them when I make a big pot. There has to be 15. I'm like going to sit there and sear every one of those.
Oh, you make them all at once?
Yeah,
like
I
that?
throw them in a big pot and pressure cook them.
Oh, that makes well then no, it wouldn't make sense to do all that work, of course.
But
not.
people do that. I've seen people on YouTube make a big pot of oxtails and sear them each one. They just sit there on all the sides. They go through all that. I'm like, not a chance.
No, I just
Not
do
me.
one. I just do one, and that's it.
No, I make a. I don't cook anything that can't last me 2 or 3 days.
Gotcha.
I only cook twice a week. I make a big pot and take them out. Like I said, debone them, scrape all that. Just take a fork and scrape all the meat off, get all the bones out.
As long as they taste delicious in the end, that's all that counts.
Yeah, I used to have a neighbor, a guy that wanted to I used to save the bones for. I haven't been doing that lately. He liked to make bone broth out of them. But yeah, that's what I do. And then, like I said, I mix them in with my ground beef, and and that's it. But yeah, that's me. They're edible. I think they taste fine. Other people will probably say, "Oh, that's not the way to do it." Hey, I don't disagree. Yeah, don't get any cooking tips from me. I know how to keep myself alive.
There you go. That's all. There you go.
Well, I will follow your advice, Russ, and if I need to tweak something along the way, I'll tweak it, and then I'll tell you you're wrong. But right now, you're the expert. I'll follow your advice.
Yeah, if I'm the expert, God help you, brother.
That sounds good, Josephine.
Oh my God, has anyone tried lamb cut off thin strips and fried in beef fat, a bit of salt, great snack? I've eaten lamb pretty regularly, but I get the boneless legs from Costco and I pressure cook them or kind of slow roast them generally. What about you? And that's the boneless leg. Now you got shoulders and chops and other parts. I don't know. I guess you're talking about a leg. Any of you guys eat lamb regularly?
I now and then I do. I've never tried it that way though. That sounds fantastic.
It does sound good. No, I'll throw it on the grill and just cook it just like a steak. And
that's what I usually do. I throw it.
How about chops
in the air fryer today?
How about lamb chops, Bruce?
Actually, shoulder.
Shoulder. That's what
yeah.
Is what I've tried.
Yeah, I like I like lamb as well. I like lamb any kind of way. You get the big boneless ones from the boneless legs from Costco. They're about the size of a football.
Oh,
really?
And they're about 7 pounds, 6 to 7 pounds. Oh yeah, it's wonderful. Wonderful. I got one in the grill. Right there. You what?
I learned an Italian thing. It's from the region that my family's from, Abruzzi, which is central Italy, actually. What they do is they take it and cut it in little cubes, and they put it on a spit, and they salt the shit out of it. And then they have like this little special barbecue grill made specifically for that. It's rectangular. It's maybe about 4 inches wide by about 2 feet long, with a little grill and going across. And you take a skewer with the meat on it, and you just put it on the charcoal and spin it. And they have restaurants all over the Abruzzi anyway that make just that, and it's fantastic. And
directly on the charcoal.
On the charcoal, it's actually you've got So you've got this rectangular thing. It's about 4 inches wide by about maybe 2 feet long, and it's on a stand. So they call it a canal. That's what they call it, the canala. They call it a canal. And it's got a grill on the top of it. So you heat up your charcoal just like you would a regular barbecue grill. You put your grill on the top. And then you put your skewers with the lamb just wide enough to cover where the grill's at, and the rest of the spit is kind of hanging on the outside of the canal. And you just spin them as you go, and it just makes the outside really crispy. And you salt it, and you can't stop eating it. It's so freaking good. And it's just, and the older the lamb, it's fattier. So the older the lamb, the better, and that's actually for mutton is what you want to use that. But, oh my God, the first time I tried that, I thought I died and went to heaven. It was so good. Absolutely fantastic. It's just a mixture of the fat and the meat and everything, and the charcoal taste. Oh.
When I think of a canal, I think of a place to get the food.
Right.
Yeah, I bet you do, Rick.
It's just the shape of it they refer to. It looks like a keyboard, maybe, except a little bit longer. But it's wonderful. We went, and my late husband and I actually brought one back from Italy to bring over here, and I've got one in the shed, so I use it in the summertime. Absolutely. It's just hard to find old enough lamb. That's the thing. It's usually younger. So you want to find the nice fatty piece of mutton. So, I usually wait if my neighbors raise goats. So if they slaughter one, sometimes I can get a leg off of them, I'll buy it off them, and it's got all that fat on it. It tastes pretty close to lamb anyway. And it's a ruminant animal. It's pretty delicious.
Yeah.
And you can
I've never tried goat.
It's a little bit, very similar to lamb, a little stronger maybe, but absolutely.
I think I had curry goat once. I think I had curry goat one time. It's big, like Caribbean restaurants.
Yes, yes.
That just like oxtails. That's the first place I ever had oxtails many moons ago. Was at a Caribbean restaurant.
Yeah.
Here in Texas, we got cabrito in Mexican restaurants.
Oh,
but I've just never tried it.
Oh, I bet you'd love it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm sure it's delicious the way they cook it. So
yeah,
cabrito's probably a young goat, I would think.
Maybe.
It's more tender and stuff like that. But boy, so yummy. But I did find some picanha out here, and
oh, good for fun. Yeah, I remember you saying you couldn't. Yeah, a lot of people say that. It's everywhere here in our area, but a lot of people say they can't find it. Can't get
I had
it.
to find what the name of it was over here because every state is different. And I showed the butcher a picture on my phone of what it looked like. And he said, oh, I know what that cut is. So now I get it every month.
Well, I hope you didn't confuse it with the tri-tip, because a lot of places will confuse it with tri-tip because it does look similar. But the tri-tip is the top sirloin cap.
It's sirloin cap.
Yeah.
Sirloin cap, right.
Yep. Top sirloin cap. Some people places call it culotte steak. Coulotte.
Right.
Sirloin cap. Yeah.
It was wonderful. I had him cut it into steaks for me. Oh man.
Yeah, that's how I do mine too. I got a couple in there. I'm gonna probably make I cut them into steaks and 4 minutes aside.
Yep. The fat. You got to watch that fat.
Yeah, it's got a huge fat cap. I can't eat all that. I just can't. I can eat about a third of it.
Me too.
And then listen, I can eat it. I just can't leave the house. How about that?
Me, I won't leave the house.
I can eat. Yeah, I can eat it. I just 48 hours. I'm on house arrest.
Oh, amen to that.
I can't go nowhere.
No, I got to work today. I don't think I can eat.
Yeah, no. Other than that, I just, like I said, I trim about 2/3 of it off. It's a lot of fat. I don't know how. I just don't know how. You must be really, really, really fat adapted to be able to eat all that.
I guess I'm not. I've tried slowly increasing it. My body just doesn't like it. I'm like you, so, but I feel good.
Yeah. I don't have any problems there, but I a little too much. I can't. All right, folks. Well, with that, I want to thank everybody. Yeah, we have fulfilled our contractual obligations to the family.
Hey, Rick, have you tried the claws in your kitten? It might help. So when they grab, just trim the little claws to get them used to it when they're young. No,
I haven't done that.
Oh, because you can get little.
You will need to, Rick. it is something that you do need to do with your cat.
It helps a lot. It does help a lot. I mean, even if they go outside,
or not declaw them, but
no, God, no.
No, that's not what I meant. It was just you need to clip the
hoofs,
claws every once in a while.
It helps a lot, so they're not going to claw you, and they also, I'm sure you've got plenty of scratching stuff outside and everything where they can claw, but it's really important to just keep them trimmed, and it'll help save your skin and your arm, especially, and also not ruin your house.
My kitten has been after me. You could see he was climbing all over me, biting. But I got him under control. I grab him by the head. That stops him from biting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. It's not good. Yeah, don't let them do that because they'll get in the habit. When they're big, it hurts.
Oh yeah, I give him a spanking.
Well, I'm gonna bite somebody if we don't end this show.
Okay.
Okay, Russ is kicking us out.
I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us on a Tuesday night. Now, I am sure that next week we will not be here. Next week is the 26th. I will be traveling for Thanksgiving. We will not have a show next week, but we'll be back the week after that with Laura. Laura will be back with us. I believe it's her week to hang out with us. But thank you so much. I always enjoy just hanging out with the family. Appreciate you guys taking the time. We even got Bruce up late, man. He's like drinking coffee and taking notos, man, to make it stay up this late. We love it.
Just seltzer.
I love it, brother. I love it, man. But thank everybody.
Thanks
always,
for letting me hang out with you guys tonight.
Yeah,
anytime, man. You know that. Anytime you want to. We wish you all the best, everybody. We will see you in 2 weeks.
We're grilling,
Happy
baby.
Thanksgiving.
We
I grill in 2 weeks.
That's right. Okay.